today's episode of LTV Lab, we're doing a deep dive into the customer journey of Dime Beauty. Dime is an 8-figure brand in the beauty niche, and a little over 30 days ago, Eleni, one of the incredible lifecycle marketing strategists at my agency Dispatch, ordered a product that she needed from Dime's e-commerce store. Since then, we've tracked literally everything that Dime has done over the last month to try and win Eleni back as a repeat customer. So Eleni's gonna walk us through her real experience as a Dime customer, from their website shopping experience to their shipping times to their unboxing, and of course, all of the emails that she received over the last 30 days. Then me and the rest of the Dispatch team are gonna break down exactly what we would do if we were taking over as lifecycle marketing managers at Dime to improve their repeat purchase rate and customer LTV, and ultimately try and get Eleni to buy again. Finally, at the end of the episode, we're gonna go through our Dispatch retention rubric where Eleni's gonna rate every part of the customer journey and ultimately answer the final question of will she be buying from Dime again.
Okay, so this is the brand I chose to order from for this episode of LTV Lab. It's called Dime. They are in the skincare and fragrance space, and I believe they do a little bit of makeup as well. What interested me specifically was their skincare products. They're known for being super clean beauty, good ingredients, fragrance-free, all of those things that everyone's talking about in the skincare world right now. So yeah, I came onto their site. The pop-up didn't come up this time, but it offered 20% off your first order, which I filled out and subscribed on email and SMS. And then I got to shopping. I wasn't really sure what exact products I wanted. I more just knew about the brand, so I navigated through all of these menu tabs they have up top. I'm now seeing they have a skin quiz, which I did not complete because I didn't see it the first time I was on the site. I shopped through these menu tabs and then I got the Discovery set, which is called the Works Discovery set. I'm guessing it's all of their bestseller skincare products. So what comes in it is a toner, face wash, 2 different serums, a day cream and a night cream. So kind of everything you need to have a full skincare routine. This is what I ordered, and that's how I found it. It was pretty easy. They have some upsell in their cart. The welcome offer also, I learned, doesn't actually apply on this set that I ordered, which was a little bit sad, but we'll see that when we get into all of their campaigns. Their checkout was super easy. That brings us to the emails I received. Okay, so after I signed up on the pop-up, I got this welcome SMS. The pop-up presented 20%, which comes through in the email. The SMS offer is an extra 5%, so 25%. So they sent over a welcome message, a link to shop, a contact card, and then this is from when I placed my order. All of these SMSs came through on the same day. I signed up for rewards separately on their site because I saw it, so that's what triggered that. It does make sense that I got all of these on that first day. This is the welcome email I received. It's a note from their founder going over their branding and the welcome offer, which didn't apply on the kit I used. And then when I placed my order, pretty standard confirmation email. Something I noticed after is that tax and duties were included, which was good. I didn't notice it going through checkout or on the site as advertised, but that was just a pleasant surprise to not be hit with a duties bill. A rewards loyalty email. Because I placed an order, I also got points and I signed up for loyalty before I placed an order. So they're letting me know that I got to the next tier. So I'm assuming this is a flow email. Next, just more transactionals. This one I'm a little bit confused about because it says we received your information and it was 3 days after I placed my order. I'm not sure what received my information meant because when I went to track it, there was no tracking available. And then I later got a it has shipped notification. So I'm not super sure what was being communicated here. I did get a bunch of transactionals coming through. And then my order arrived not too many days later. In this last transactional, they're asking for a review, but once I clicked on it, it actually just took me back to the tracking page, which wasn't ideal. And then I also got an SMS letting me know that my order was delivered. Okay. Unboxing. So when it arrived, unfortunately, the box that the mini products came in was busted open. It came in just a plain brown box with some craft paper, but it wasn't enough to keep it safe. So this is kind of how I found it. And the box was open. The packaging wasn't great. Like, it had a bunch of marks on the inside because all of the bottles are glass and black. I'm guessing this is just rubbing off from the outside of the bottles. It wasn't a great first experience to open the busted open box and have the worn out color on it, but everything was mostly in good condition, other than this lid that I'll talk about in a minute. When I received it, I also noticed that on the outside of the package, there was like $49 104 value, which is USD. This pricing didn't apply to me, and I was kind of confused when I first saw it. It's not a sticker, it's right on the package. So maybe they just expanded internationally or haven't gotten to that stage of growth where they're thinking through their packaging in all regions. That's definitely something I noticed right away. And then one of the lids was cracked. So I reached out to them when I received my order with their little chat support on their site saying, hey, this arrived, the lid is cracked and it doesn't stay on at all. And they actually sent me a replacement, which was really great. So they sent me the replacement. I got the same transactionals for it, but I also received more loyalty points because I got another loyalty flow email. It's not super obvious what I unlocked, and I'm assuming that this is from loyalty, considering the code starts with LOY and it was right after this second order because it went through Shopify again. But that was an automation that was triggered to me by this, I'm assuming, is also either a welcome sequence or post-purchase automation because you seem to be loving it. So speaking to me that I've placed an order and then gives me other ways to connect with the brand, the same transactionals that I got before. But I this time was triggered a different kind of post-purchase because it was the jelly cleanser that they resent to me. This is a email specifically all about the jelly cleanser. Make the most of your jelly cleanser. I love that they included a video here on a tutorial on the product, but I linked it here as well. It just lands me on a version of the product page that doesn't have this video, so I couldn't watch this. It includes some really good info about what it's supposed to do for me, how to use it, and some FAQs. They even tell me how long one bottle should last, which I know is something we've talked about before. A really well thought out post purchase for that jelly cleanser. Then I got mostly campaigns after this. So they had a sale on their site where you could stack on sale to get up to 40% off. We see a few of these that I received, another transactional, another summer sale. I like the use of a plain text during the sale, just kind of break that pattern and stand out a bit in the inbox. Another communication about the sale, the same transactional that we saw before, that it had arrived. This one was in perfect shape, so I was very happy with that. And then I got another plain text promo. This one's for a different offer. So this one is a spend $75, get a full size of one of their serums. I don't know when this specifically started or ended because I believe this is the only email I got on that offer. Then we got Prime Day. Definitely a good offer, like 30% on Amazon. Unfortunately, all of these Prime Day offers did link out to Amazon US, so I wasn't able to take advantage of any of these Prime Day emails. There was, 3 of them here. And then that was kind of it. That takes us to 30 days post order.
First question is, do they offer subscription?
They do. And I believe you save 20%. It was in a couple small cities.
I was going to say, I saw it in one of the emails when you walk through, but it was at the very bottom and it wasn't like.
So this is like the one that I thought was post purchase. You seem to be loving it. So it's like sign up for texts, which I did. Join the Facebook community, which I put a box on the first time because they don't really talk about this a ton, and then subscribe and save. But this is kind of the only time we really see subscribe and save, which is also something I thought about.
So I find a lot of this super interesting. Like, one thing I find super interesting here is that immediately after your first purchase, in the text message that you got, they chose to let you know about the loyalty program. And I'm just curious, there's a lot of brands that we work with that have a loyalty program and a subscription program and maybe a community. This isn't something that is completely new, but how brands choose what they want to prioritize is always an interesting choice. I'm just curious for you, Eleni, as a customer in this scenario, did you care about the loyalty program that Dime was telling you about immediately after your first purchase, before you even got the product?
I signed up because I saw it on the site and I thought that maybe I might get different communications for the purpose of our analysis here. I think as a consumer, I care more about loyalty when I know that I'm going to be going there again. Like right after I placed my first order, this is actually technically after my second order because this was the replacement jelly cleanser. I would say doing it after your second order is pretty smart. Then you have a repeat purchaser. Whereas right after your first order, you don't know if you're going to be ordering again. You don't know if you like the product yet. So it's like a good reminder that, yeah, okay, I have loyalty points. But now that I had reached 100, I can actually use them. And I believe it's to redeem $5. They don't tell you that super clearly in the email. It's a good benefit when you're repurchasing, but I don't know if it would convert me on a second order.
I think the distinction I'm like trying to draw and just like walk through Dime's thought process, because I'm sure that like this is something that they've thought out super clearly. Like when I think of Sephora's loyalty program that everyone talks about as the greatest loyalty program of all time, it really makes sense that obviously Sephora with their like 10,000 SKUs is going to push a loyalty program because like you should be buying every skincare product that you need from Sephora
Yeah.
versus a subscription for one specific product. So my question as it pertains to Dime is, can you see Dime replacing a ton of different products in your cabinet and routine, or do you look at one or two of the products you ordered as being more prominent?
I specifically, as a customer, have a lot more skincare than makeup, but I know that Dime has fragrance, skincare, and makeup. I can see how they could be like somebody's favorite brand and replacing a lot of things that they might have been using before. Tend to gravitate to the same brands for different things. If I like a couple of their products, generally you get the same quality when you're trying more things. If you don't like a couple products, you probably won't like the rest of any company's line. So I can see like somebody being really loyal to Dime and reordering their mascara every time they need some, or their skincare, or even being subscribed because you know how long it takes you to run out.
Okay, so to you as a customer at this point, it definitely makes more sense for them to push loyalty, which could be applied on anything, versus subscription, which is more just speaking to the one product
Yeah.
you
And I also think that beauty is one of the difficult ones to sell subscription on. Your consumable products, you do run out, but I find that it's really hard to guess when you're going to run out. Like sometimes if you're wearing more makeup one week, you're using 5 pumps of face wash, and other weeks, if you're wearing no makeup, you might use one. So even person to person, it's hard to figure out when you're going to run out. That also is why they're leaning more into the points and loyalty here versus subscription.
got it. Okay, cool. My next question, I found everything that you showed about the unboxing experience really interesting because it's just unique compared to what we've seen on previous
Yeah.
episodes. Do you look at Dime as a premium brand?
Yes, they're definitely premiumly priced. You could get fragrance free, pretty clean ingredients. I'm not an expert, but you could get products with the same value props at Shoppers for much less. So I would say that they're a premium product because there's a lot that exists at a much lower price point in their same niche.
Okay, I think the difference and what I'm trying to get at is if I ordered from Chanel and a box came in that shape, I'd be taken aback. I'd be shocked and appalled. So I'm just curious, when you opened that and saw that for the first time, did it like diminish how you felt about the brand, or like benefit of the doubt, like it was like a bad
Yeah,
truck
at the
job?
time I was like benefit of the doubt, like you couldn't have anticipated it to pop open. Like it opening in transit is not necessarily in exactly the control of the brand. The way the package was closed on the bottom, I put it back together to see what it would be like, and the package itself is not great. They need to look at their packaging design a little bit better because of the bottom being really weak. This tab here is the only thing holding the bottom shut. These glass bottles are pretty heavy. So I don't imagine I'm the only person that this has happened to. Other than this like bottom packaging design, if that was fixed, like this experience would have been really different.
I'm surprised that the packaging is like as flimsy, especially if they're glass bottles. To me,
Yeah.
it seems like packaging is maybe an afterthought. Similar to Elliot's point, if I received something that I paid money for and the box was like that, I would be pretty appalled as well. Especially
Yeah,
like if it's glass bottles, like how easy would have that been to just open, like,
yeah.
and have
It
the product spill everywhere.
Yeah, it's really do think it's just poor design, and like maybe this is something they're already looking at fixing because the package itself, it's actually like this thick plasticky like material. It's not just a paper box. I don't know how to describe it, but you've probably felt something made of this type of packaging. It's not just plastic coated paper. It's pretty thick and could be very sturdy, but just this bottom design was not great for the glass bottles because they do weigh quite a bit, and there was I think 5 or 6 products in there. So definitely like wasn't designed as a whole super, super well. But it does have a luxury feel on the outside. The glass is really nice. So they're almost there, but this bottom design is really a miss.
I can guarantee that you're not the first person this has ever happened to. Even just the fact that the black on the packaging was scuffed stood out to me as not the best before someone's going to open the product for the first time. I also just find, like, first of all, I think they did a great job by like refunding you, or not refunding you,
They
but just
sent me
sending you.
the replacement of the jelly cleanser
Yeah.
because it was cracked. It like didn't even stay on at all. So
Mhm.
that I could appreciate. That was so nice of them.
Yeah, so they're probably aware of it, but I do think, like you said, it does matter in your
Mhm.
perception of how you're looking at the brand. So yeah, that makes sense.
Also, this is something that I gift all the time. I gift the Sephora sets to people all the time. So if you had sent this to someone and they received it busted open, probably not the best experience. You wanted somebody that you're sending a gift to. But what also threw me is the price being on the front and also in USD is just another packaging revision they should think about.
I see that they also push their join our community messaging a few times. Is that something that you cared about at all, like from Dime?
So I didn't notice this until I was putting in all of my thoughts and notes and reanalyzing the experience as I was receiving these and opening them. I think all of them I opened on my phone. I didn't notice this at all.
Yeah, I think a big takeaway for any brand watching this is like exactly like Eleni said, like she opened this email and like scanned it, maybe looked at the top, but did not go all the way down and read every word and like look at every single different content block. So like if there is something important to know about, having one focused dedicated email to talk about your community would ensure that like she at least knew about it from like the subject line to the preview text, the content of the email, versus like burying it in another email. The video that they had was like a really good use of video. I think that's also something underutilized by a lot of brands. I know you called it out. That was something you thought was cool and appreciated. I love that.
It didn't link me to the video, but that would have been,
Mhm.
I would have watched that for sure. I definitely received this email and clicked on that right away.
With the sale that you got offered, like we've talked about it a few times in the past in terms of brands choosing when to exclude recent purchasers or not exclude them. How did you feel about seeing this sale going on that close to when you had placed your last order?
It was a bit after. So this first sale campaign I got was June 26th, and my order was placed on June 6th. It wasn't immediately after. I did go on their site and shop the sale because I had been liking the products and wanted to see what this extra 25 was and what products were 40% off. I could have been swayed at this point to place another order because I had been able to try like the 6 minis that I had bought and had been liking them so far. I also wanted to see if fragrance was included here or makeup, which weren't categories I had ordered from yet.
I don't even know if you noticed this, but that's kind of why I'm asking this. I noticed that there were a few places where they were using dynamic personalization first names that was broken in a few places. In one of the texts you received, the first name wasn't there. And in another, it said the last name instead of the first
Yeah.
name. I wonder if you, as a customer receiving these emails, actually care about that. That's something that we pay a lot of attention to and feel is important as marketers. I'm curious to know what your thought was.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I've definitely seen this before, and it's a pretty easy thing to go wrong, and you wouldn't immediately notice that it's broken until it's flagged if you're not constantly going back and checking these things. I didn't think too much about it in this instance. Obviously, I knew that a name was supposed to be here and there was no fallback, so it just put a comma. I also have that unique perspective of knowing exactly how these things work. So I don't know if somebody would have thought too deep into it. It's definitely not ideal. And then here, where it's pulling in the order last name, it's
Mhm.
probably also, I'm guessing, just an oversight of whoever built these out. I wouldn't say it's the largest error, like it's not saying the wrong name, but it's noticeable that this is probably supposed to say your first name. I don't know that I'd never order from the brand again or never tell somebody to order from this brand. I probably wouldn't think about it, honestly, after closing this email again, but it should be right. And as anything else, it should be double checked.
My last question is when they sent you that email about Amazon Prime Day just happened, and this was a big conversation topic. It's always a big conversation topic every year, like in the e-commerce space, about as an e-commerce brand who has their own store, should you be sending your traffic that like you worked so hard to get onto your site to Amazon, where margins are lower if you're selling through Amazon? And like one half of people say like, yes, just send them wherever they're like more likely to want to buy. And then the other half are like, no, absolutely not. Do not give Amazon margin if you have the opportunity to already get someone to your site by having them on your
Yeah.
list. I'm just curious. I know that this wasn't available in Canada, so you couldn't take advantage of their Prime Day offer. But if they were on Amazon and pushed you to Amazon, I'm curious to know if the fact that they've given you loyalty points and everything else you've experienced in shopping from the brand at this point is enough to get you to want to order from the website.
It's definitely arguments to be had both ways, and it depends on so many things. Like, I don't know if they're doing a ton of volume through Amazon, and if they are, then it could make good sense to send traffic that they know, like a channel that is working really well, to Amazon. Something that would have 100% swayed me is that there's something I wanted that's now on sale that I wouldn't have qualified for free shipping on their site. Without a doubt, I'm not paying for shipping when I can order it on sale for free 2 days shipping. I will always choose Amazon in that case. If I had free shipping on both, I want to say that I would order from the site directly because I find that the packaging is always a little bit better. It usually comes in a nice box and you get loyalty points. I enjoy doing that also because I work in the e-com space. I tend to skew more towards ordering on the site directly. But those reasons, like free ship and it being on sale on Amazon and not on their site, would have 100% drawn me to place that order on Amazon.
Okay, so the fact that the package didn't come in the best shape wasn't enough for you to be like, I no longer care about ordering from the website.
Yeah, if it came really beautifully and with free samples that beauty brands often do, that is something I would think back to if I was considering the site versus Amazon. The packaging was pretty like, yes, they put craft paper so that it would like be more protected, but I don't think I care that much if it comes in a box versus a mailer. Really, like the price and the free ship would have been my main deciding sways in this case.
So one thing I noticed like on their website is they have an app, and I noticed it in a few emails. It's kind of same with their community. It's like very much on the bottom, but on their website they like promote it with their loyalty program. They have app exclusive sales and promoted with their subscription. Would that have been something incentivizing for you? Like, because you already signed up for the loyalty program. Like, would you have even, I'm curious because it's now an extra thing, right?
Yeah.
If they had spoken to you about it in conjunction with the loyalty program that you signed up for and like saying that there's like app exclusive deals, would it be something that you would even consider another app on your phone?
I am a hater of having more apps on my phone. I have so many apps on my phone
Yeah.
that I'll delete them. And then that one time I need it again, I'll re-download it and be annoyed at myself that I deleted it before. I could be convinced to download an app and see what it is, other than what's already available on their site, like offers. Like, I imagine it's another channel that you can like shop, place orders. They could send you push notifications. But and I could be very wrong, can't imagine there being major features that I would use often in an app versus on their site.
No, I think looking at the app, it makes sense if you're a loyalty member, like there's extra things, or if you're a subscription
Oh.
member, but I don't think it makes, from what I can see, it looks like it's combined with the program. So I was kind of interested, since you joined the loyalty program, would you even consider an app for tracking your points and understanding what they could be? They had kind of sold, like, talked to you about it.
I didn't really know there was an app. I did notice it in the footer here, like as you were saying it. So maybe that says a lot about how they had been promoting the app in my customer journey. Can't imagine myself using their app unless I was actively buying from all of their lines and had a ton of their products and was super loyal. I just don't think that I could be sold on an app, but I think that that's true for myself for almost any brand.
I'm honestly so surprised about it just because I know firsthand how expensive it is to build out an app like that and then maintain it. So I'm surprised that they're not trying to push more traffic to it. And
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
the
my
other thing,
surprise because, yeah, like if you have an app, like there's a lot that goes into an app. And especially since you did sign up for the loyalty program, I'm surprised they didn't communicate it to you at all.
And along with that, Kayla, looking at their loyalty program page on their site, I don't know if this is something that you saw when you signed up, Eleni, but it doesn't look like you received any emails about this. They do a really good job of explaining the ways you can redeem your points and the benefits you'll experience. They're just showing you super clearly, like, you'll get a free product when you reach this many points. I just think in their emails, they're not doing a good job of communicating this. It's a shame because this is something we see all the time. Brands do the work to put these materials and content together across different channels. Sometimes it's on their website, sometimes it's on social, and it just doesn't get seen by customers because it's not being put in front of them.
Honestly, that chart was pretty cool. Like Eleni was saying, she could have been convinced to go purchase from another channel because of free ship. And like with their product in AOV, like how easy would it have gotten you to spend 350 US for the year to always have free shipping, right?
Not hard to spend.
Exactly.
350.
And that's what I was thinking. You probably wouldn't be hard for you to get to 350. Plus, you get a free birthday gift. Like, there's a lot of things for that level to like encourage
Yeah.
you to get up to that 350 a year spend. I guess it's for US shipping, so it doesn't apply to you. But shipping in general is usually a big pain point for people. Even pushing that to be like, hey, spend more and you can get this wouldn't be hard
Yeah.
to reach that level.
I did get this email saying that I was like on the super level, which I'm assuming is the first one. It told me the perks that I've unlocked, but I even left a note like, how do I get to the next level? Because this doesn't even tell me that like I can have a different level or like more perks. Like this existing at all and like this being a communication is great, but there could be more added to kind of sell the program better for those already enrolled.
To me, it feels like with those CTAs, they're trying to sell the click to like, hey, if you go click, then you'll land on those. I would assume you'd land on those pages we were just looking at to get all that information. But you're missing out on a lot and a good opportunity for upselling and driving higher orders by not including it in email as well.
So I saw in their first email that the founder's message was all about how there's no one size fits all for beauty. So I was just wondering if there was any part of customization or feeling that you got from them that it wasn't also like a one size fits all. Because I didn't see that, but I want to make sure I didn't miss it.
I don't know that the messaging kind of carries through and it's not a customizable product versus was it Pros that Kayla had ordered from
Yeah.
where they made her a custom formula. They did have
They
the
do
quiz on the site that I didn't see right away that I'm sure would have recommended me a routine to use. It's interesting because in my understanding, like when you have a fragrance-free, really good ingredient product, the sub messaging there is that it's good for everybody because
Hmm.
you have fragrance or ingredient irritations. So it really just opens the door to people who have irritations to that. And also, like, we know it's not good for you. So even if fragrance doesn't irritate your skin, you probably shouldn't be using it anyway.
There's a whole section on their website of create your custom system, and you can create your own bundle. Creating that bundle, depending on how many products and pricing, you can get different discounts. So I'm wondering if that kind of system and custom system is where they started.
Okay.
Like your custom routine, which no matter what, like everybody's using their own unique blend of products, whether from the same brand or not. But I guess that is how they're positioning it.
If you're watching this video and you run marketing and e-commerce brands doing over $150,000 in monthly revenue, you might qualify for a completely free in-depth audit of your customer journey and more importantly, your Klaviyo account. In our free audits, just like we do in LTV Lab, we go through your customer journey and go through your Klaviyo account and pinpoint exactly where your brand is leaving revenue, repeat purchases, and ultimately customer LTV on the table. So if you're interested in seeing if your brand qualifies for a free in-depth audit, click the link in the description. All right, now back to the video. Okay, so if I was a strategist working with Dime on their lifecycle marketing to improve their repeat purchase rate and their LTV, the biggest miss that I'm seeing and the biggest gap that needs to be plugged is there's such a lack of education on the rest of the product catalog here. If I didn't know any better, if I didn't go to the website and look, I wouldn't know that they offered all of the different SKUs that they do. Letting you know that there's a loyalty program is great. And like there's other ways I'll touch on in a second on how they could further improve the loyalty program. But like step number one is just like making you aware of all the different products that you should be buying from them. And I think like there's a lot of assumptions that brands make. I think there's a lot of assumptions that like Dime is making in their retention marketing efforts here. But like one of the big assumptions is just like people are going to find this information somewhere else. Like people already know this. They're coming from Instagram where they've been following us for months and they know everything about the brand, or they went to the website and after signing up for our list, they looked at every product page and know all about the different collections and the products that we have and the fact that you can build your own bundle. All of these different assumptions just lead to the conclusion of knowing that you don't know everything. If they're not going out of their way to spell it out for you and put everything that's so great about the brand right in front of you, there's no way one's going to consume all of that information on their own. So step number one, in order to get someone to place another order, is let them know about the other products that they could probably enjoy if they are enjoying their first order. And then like that ties into, I think like they just like scratch the surface on all the different retention efforts that they do have. So I would definitely advise Dime on like really focusing more on one of those retention efforts, whether that is the loyalty program, which I would suggest it be for them, or it's subscription, or it's really leveraging their community. Like these are all just touched on at a shallow level. And I think going deeper in how they're communicating each of those, or just one of those specifically, will go a long way. When it comes to the loyalty program, I'm surprised at how few campaigns you received. I think Dime can be sending more campaigns considering how big their catalog is. I also think on the email design side, the fact that they are sending a lot of plain text, lesser designed emails doesn't make it the most engaging experience for new customers to see all the good content that Dime has to offer. I went to look at their Instagram and there's a ton of great content that could be repurposed for email. I think getting in front of you more often after your first purchase with different products in their catalog and reminding you of the loyalty program, how many points you have, what the next level is for you to redeem, like the specific products that you're going to get for free as soon as you hit a certain level. All of those things are going to ladder up to you being more excited to shop with Dime again when you need that next product.
I think that's very well said.
Yeah, and I would say to add on to that, like if I was working with Dime, they have a whole page called Quick Tips Skincare One-on-One. I would recommend that they add more education, not just about the other products in their line, but about skincare itself. Like that's their whole brand. If you were here and you purchased, say, a cleanse, maybe you don't know you need exfoliator, maybe you don't know you need toner, maybe you don't know all of these other skincare things. So even just like they have skincare 101, so like quick tips. Like the first tip is about consistency, one campaign about consistency and about why it's important to consistently take care of your skin. Tip is double cleanse at night. Again, like having all of this education of like why should you double cleanse at night, and then encouraging you to a cleanser. Then you can tie it into their products, or exfoliate twice a week. It is going to vary by person on what exfoliant you need and all of that, but there's ways to like talk about that. So really like putting in that education of all of this skincare and why you need it and why it's important. And in that way, you can also talk to all of those other products that Dime offers while providing really practical tips on this in your routine day in, day out.
I think one thing we didn't touch on, like we touched on subscription a little, but even like before just like pitching subscription, we specifically give brands 30 days in the LTV lab period to monitor what happens in that time frame. Was this enough time for you to need a replenishment of anything? Because I didn't see any replenishment reminders.
Yeah, so I did run out of the day and night creams, which are these little minis that came with it. These are all actually mini sized. I took them on my trip with me, so I was religiously washing my face morning and night with the cleanser, and then sometimes I would grab one of the toners, but always using the moisturizer. So I did run out of those. They are pretty mini here. I know the full size is probably a lot bigger than this. I believe this set comes in all full sizes. I could have been cross-sold on a makeup kit or fragrance or exfoliators. The only ones I ran out of so far are the moisturizers.
And if you, either of you or anyone here, like if we had to build out a post-purchase like cross-sell flow for Dime. How would you think about branching it? Just because like their catalog is so big, not every product is going to be replenishable at the same rate. What's your gut reaction to that?
I think my first thought, and it would take a bit of thinking through to really figure out what the best system would be, probably by product type. So, like skincare, makeup, or beauty, and then fragrance, just because they're different product types. Like, yes, they say that the ingredients in their beauty products are going to improve your skin, but you can't really talk about fragrance and skincare in the same generic copy. That would be my first thought. Also, leaning on recommended products. If you had bought something that's full size, like their day cream is 50 mils and looks like a pretty good sized container, you're probably not running out of this. It would be really difficult to know how much somebody's using, but you're probably not running out of it right away. My first build out would be to let them know how to upgrade their routine using a suggested product feed or cross selling them to a product type they haven't bought yet. If you like the skincare, odds are you're probably going to like their makeup products too. That could be something you order before you run out of skincare.
I think dynamic products for Dime within their post-purchase would be really beneficial, especially because they do have such a large category base. So having some sort of dynamic feeds with education mixed in could be really beneficial to drive those repeat purchases here.
The first thing I'll touch on is what you guys already said. Education is so important, and I just find that they're not screaming why they're special. And in a space like beauty where it's so incredibly competitive, and like every other week a celebrity is coming out with their own beauty line, it pretty much never ends. I would have loved for them to really toot their own horn and explain why they're special beyond that first purchase, even beyond post purchase, even in their campaigns. Tell me why I shouldn't shop like, oh, I don't want to make anybody mad, like JLo's brand or whatever. So that would be the first thing that I think is really important. And then the other thing, this is going to come across as kind of harsh, but I'm not really sorry, is brands that are positioning themselves as more on the luxury space, like Dime is, which you can tell just from their imagery alone. I used to work in the beauty space. I know what it takes to get beautiful imagery. I know how serious that they take that kind of thing. But brands don't make mistakes like getting your name wrong. They just don't. And I just think it comes across as like they didn't double check their work. I just find that when you're purchasing a higher end, prestige level product, I'm expecting all of the basics to be nailed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I look at the unboxing and the packaging as a bigger impact on that
Yes,
like would hit me harder.
but I think
Yeah.
very well of like sending her the replacement product. It didn't seem like they asked a lot of questions. It was like, yes, so sorry, like don't worry, we'll take care of it. I
Yeah.
really respect that.
And I will say, a lot of their products, there's only a handful of pre put together kits on their site. When the full size did arrive, it came in a mailer, but it had the same hard plastic box. It was in perfect shape. The bottom didn't bust open. It felt sturdy. It didn't feel like it was about to break open. So I do hope this is like unique to just this kit specifically, because there's like a lot of pieces in it around, and that like you wouldn't have that problem with their full size products. But yeah, it is important if you're going to be in the luxury space to get everything right.
All right, heading over to our retention rubric. Let's go through the customer journey, and Eleni, let's get your ratings on how Dime did at each step. Initial ordering experience, how are you rating it?
I would say maybe a 9. A 9 feels very high, but I can't think of anything that went particularly wrong. There was nothing broken on the site. It was easy to navigate. All the PDPs had a lot of info on every single product, so I don't really have any like to dock, but a perfect 10 seems too perfect for even any brand
A
of
10 would
objection.
really have to wow us. I think they nailed the basics. Easy to navigate. We're good. Super strong start here for Dime. All right, on to the order to delivery phase. How you feeling?
I think that the communication of like, you received my order, it's on the way, it's here, we're all really good. Like everything was accurate, the tracking was accurate, it was there when the email arrived. I don't have any reservations about that. I do think that the lack of any other communication until I received my order is worth docking a couple points for, just because I wasn't getting like any information, even like a welcome series with more info about the brand or a more beautiful branded thank you for your order email. So I'm gonna go with a 7 here.
I think a 7 is fair. With the amount of SKUs they have, I wouldn't expect them to educate you on each
Yeah.
specific one here. Is there more they could have done to get you excited about joining the brand? Yes, 100%. And I think, like, to your point, that type of welcome messaging to learn about the brand, I think what Saf said is extremely true. Like, it's a crowded space. Like, just like brand is absolutely everything here. Like, at the end of the day, you're not buying the product for the first time because you think it's magic compared to the 100 other competitors that have like really similar ingredients. It's all about the brand. And I think like welcoming into the brand, making you feel amazing to be a part of it would go a long way. Unboxing 0 to 10. We know they had the little faux pas. How'd they do in your mind, Eleni?
I know it's not specifically in the criteria. The packaging was not great. The info in the packaging, there was nothing else other than what was written on the box. But I do think they deserve some extra points for right away sending a replacement of the product that was broken. And it's not specifically in, like, we don't have a customer service category, but I think they can get some bonus points back here. And I think I might give them a
I think that's fair. I think it just goes to show if you don't do it right the first time, amazing customer service goes a really long way.
yeah. Would have preferred it be like right the first time. And like, yes, now I have like extra jelly cleanser that I have been enjoying. But had it been like a gift or something, sending the replacement, I don't know if I would have even said anything about it not coming correctly. So you can't fully recover, I don't think. But they do get points back for making it right.
For sure. Like I probably would have called it like a 3 or
Yeah.
a 4 even, like if they didn't do that, but I think they earned that one back. Post purchase. So in the 30 days after you place your order, every marketing touch point you received, how are you rating them on?
I think everything is really beautiful overall, but I do think that the content has a lot of room to improve and overall volume could have been higher. Maybe a 6. Less because of what I did receive and more about what I didn't receive, which was product education and more campaigns in general and more brand education. Does anyone disagree?
I think that's a little generous.
That's exactly what
Go
I
ahead.
was gonna
Okay, I
say.
thought that's what you
Yeah.
guys might say.
A
I
little
was
bit,
gonna say 5, but then
yeah.
I looked it up. I will take the challenge.
Only because I found myself wanting a reason to care, and you know what I mean?
That's
Like,
fair.
I felt the exact same as you, Seth, where there's so many things in the beauty space, and I'm not a super beauty person, but like, I wanted, same thing. It's like, I wanted to know, why do I want to care about this brand? Why do I want face care or skincare from this brand? And I wasn't getting that from your journey.
I would say that is probably a fair observation.
Yeah. And honestly, never want to punch down. So like if this was a much smaller brand, like probably would have a completely different viewpoint. But I think like there's so many like resources to pull from. It's not even all of the work to have amazing post-purchase flows in place, like needs to be done. It's more so like things just need to be like reformatted, recontextualized. And it's like it's doable. So I think that's where as a customer, the feeling might be like there's a lack of care here. It's like they got me in and now I'm on my own.
Yeah, like there's a lot of that information on their other channels or even on their website of like, why should I care, or like, why Dime? They're just not translating it once they've kind of made that purchase, it feels like.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Now, product satisfaction ratings. You got the product 3 to 4 weeks. How have you been enjoying it?
All of this said, the products are really nice. Like the packaging, I like put them all out on my counter so that I would remember to use them because the packaging is really beautiful. I'm willing to leave them out on my counter, which I guess makes me use them more and need to replenish sooner. Everything was really good. I don't have sensitive skin, but I didn't have any irritation. The jelly cleanser, although fragrance free, smells really good because I think it has coconut and some other fruit in it. So I almost want to say like a 9, and only because I don't know what every single one is supposed to be doing for me. While I'm really enjoying using them, I'm not actively thinking about what benefits I might experience.
That's valid.
Also, I think it's really hard to give a 10 in this category.
A 9 is great.
Yeah.
All right. Now, as a culmination of all of these ratings, different brands, different products, different customer journeys mean like different weights in each of these categories. So when we take all of it into consideration, how do you feel that Dime has done in all of their retention efforts with their overall retention rating?
I do think they get extra points for the product being really good, and I don't know that I can indefinitely hold the unboxing over their head. So I would give them a 6 on 10 overall.
6 on 10. So even though the product is amazing, there was enough that they didn't do that you feel just
Yeah.
warrants points being
Yeah.
removed.
And while I really like the product, it's not the first brand that I've tried that I like that much. So while I do really, really like the product, and like 9 out of 10 is a very high score, I believe that there is nothing else on the market that could replace it. I could be swayed and convinced that another brand is equally as good at this point.
Got it. So we have all of our ratings down in our retention rubric, and now comes time for the final question of will you be buying from Dime again?
I think I would, and a lot of that is the product being really, really good and nice to use.
Is there anything that you feel they could have done in the last 30 days to have gotten you to actually place another order? Because it's been 30
Yeah.
days or a bit more, haven't placed the order. Anything that they could have done, like very specific?
I think specifically more product education, and that is hard when you have so many products. Specifically, what comes to mind is because I haven't tried it like beauty, and nowhere through even the promo emails for any product type is there like specific benefits or call outs. So I think that that's a big one that could have gotten me to click to the site from these campaigns.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Hope everyone enjoyed this episode. Thanks for tuning in to LTV Lab. If you want your brand to be analyzed and go through the lab experience in a future episode, drop your brand name in the comments and maybe you'll be lucky and be a future recipient of the LTV Lab treatment. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.